Welcome back, subscribers, and welcome new viewers. And I want to thank each and every one of you subscribers who have subscribed, and each and every one of you who likes and shares my videos, because that assists all of this information to circulate to more and more individuals just like you who are in need of this special personal information and seeking sincere freedom. Okay, thank you. And today, this is number 13 of the viewer requests. So viewer, thank you for requesting. You know who you are, because you are assisting not just you, but everyone else who has this house placement, which is North Node in the 11th house, South Node in the 5th house. Okay. Let's get started. Okay. Here the individual comes into the current life remembering a style of living in which he was the sole creator. Now he keeps trying to take the bull by the horns in order to recreate the manner of living to which he was accustomed. And the natural house of the 5th house is Leo, and the natural house of the 11th house is Aquarius. Yet everything he tries to do bears a tinge of being slightly inappropriate insofar as fitting his current life circumstances. He is prone to love affairs, finding them a comfort to the continuation of his past life ego. What he often fails to realize is that through his love affairs, he makes himself weaker, and rather than gaining strength from compliments and encouragements, he develops a dependency where each compliment creates the need for another. And again, that's the South Node in Leo, which Leo's 5th is the natural house again of the 5th house, which has to do with true love, true loves, children, and anything creative. And I want to say too, quickly, that any of you who do not know what the north and south nodes of the moon are and how important they are are each and every one of our personal work, and it's found in our natal wheel, which is symbolized, the north node, by upright headphones. The south node, directly across from it, upside down headphones. And that is what each and every one of us, we all have north and south nodes of the moon. They're all going to be different because it depends on the time of birth, when you were born. And the south node is what is a program from the past, whether it is, for some of us, it's ancestral, others it's not. So, but it is a knowing, a memory, a program that is a past knowing, and it makes us believe that if we do things in this specific way, that's what's going to get and how you're going to get your needs met. Only it's not true. It only feels that way. But because it's a program, until you consciously bring it out like we're doing right now, you keep cycling, you keep doing that same program over and over, even though it doesn't work. So this, again, bringing this out into your conscious awareness, is how you can once and for all free yourself of that program so that you can move forward and be who you truly are meant to be in your very highest form. Okay, let's continue. Eventually he makes, excuse me, eventually he makes himself so helpless that his behavior becomes hopelessly childlike. He wants to be loved desperately, but the residue of past life sexual tensions are so great that he often confuses what is really important to him. And again, each and every one of us are going to do our south nodes because we don't know. And so please, as quickly as you possibly can, no feeling bad or guilty or shameful in any way, shape, or form, or blaming. This is what you were given. He has great difficulty understanding reality, for his life is stage of players, and his dreams are so romantic in nature that he becomes a veritable Don Quixote chasing windmills. He believes in chivalry and can easily be fooled by glamour. Wanting to be constantly reassured that his arrival in life does not go unnoticed, he is unable to accept the role of just being a member of the audience. Again, that's Leo on stage. To those who appreciate him, he can be extremely generous. But the moment he feels ignored, he will run into his gossamer dream world trying to create a 17th century romantic adventure in which he will be the central character. Constantly in search of self-fulfillment through amorous adventures, he can too easily lose his way. He would like others to think of him as sacrificial, and when he does involve himself with a love affair, it is almost certain that he will force himself into a position of having to give up everything. Like the martyr king who sacrificed his throne so that he might fulfill his love, this individual would like his affairs to be honored, sanctioned, and even admired. His past life sense of dignity is so great that he is not particularly pleased with even the thought of an illicit love affair. Yet, from time to time, he finds himself in the midst of one, if for no other reason than to express his ability to sacrifice a principle for what he believes at the moment to be the world's greatest love. Basically, he is a good person, and basically he is a good person, and it would take severe chart afflictions for him to have a malicious bone in his body. Throughout all the zodiac, his creative talents with children are unsurpassed. For at heart, he is a child himself. Regardless of his sun sign, he will at one time in this life need to lean on someone with more strength than himself. Through his 11th house north node, he is to learn the value of friendship. He must transcend the physically possessive relationships of his past incarnations and cherish with equal fervor the new impersonal relationships he is now forming. That's beautiful. That's Aquarius. Of course, that's your North Node. In this life, he is learning how to pay more attention to the meaning of his dreams rather than trying to force his own will against the flowing tide. His dreams bring him messages from his higher guidance through which he is telepathically brought to understand the reasons for all of his actions. But his will is often so great that he refuses to accept what he knows is true. If he is realistically asked to abdicate anything at all in this life, he would only be his powerful self-will. It would only be his powerful self-will. For here, in the pride of ego, he actually blocks all that he so desperately desires. Truly, he is his own worst enemy. The individual with these nodes suffers from a built-in discontent for whatever he creates through his South Node only leaves him free to dream of more he is missing. He would like to be free of entanglements, but he is constantly jumping out of the frying pan into the fire. Before any growth at all can be made, he must learn to overcome the monstrous dragon ego, which he has allowed to become his self-generating instrument of destruction. He must learn how to see himself impersonally, with the understanding that his life is like a river flowing beneath the bridge from whose vantage point he may watch it. His most difficult tests always revolve around the temptation to control the flow of that river. Yet his greatest happiness occurs when he can appreciate its beauty without tampering. It is almost certain that he will go through at least one major experience in which he will be required to sacrifice his personal ego for the sake of fairness to another. For only when he has learned how to rid himself of every biased thought can he reach his higher purpose. So long as he retains the slightest tinge of self-pride, all the power in his chart will be denied him. Even the possibilities of a harmonious marriage loom beyond his reach until he becomes impersonal. The fifth house South Node uses so much energy in trying to achieve self-sympathy that the individual has difficulty finding the strength to give complete fulfillment to a marriage mate. Many with these nodes experience divorce, but this is neither destiny nor necessity. It is simply an outgrowth of misusing the South Node energies. Through so much focusing on the self, the individual does not see or fully appreciate all the blessings he has. Again, the answer is the same. He must relinquish the grip on self and dedicate his life to impersonal service rather than expect others to wait on him. If he can learn to become less romantic and more scientific, he will start to see truth for what it is. He must never allow the fires of passion to cloud his vision, for his happiness will be achieved only when he can look at life from a dispassionate point of view. His karma is in learning how to become non-involved and yet always available when needed by others. Ultimately, he is destined to become the impersonal servant of humanity. He will at one time in this life do much to further the career of another. Friendships, clubs, and societies become important to him, for it is through such associations with others that he ultimately Friendships, clubs, and societies become important to him, for it is through such associations with others that he ultimately comes to sense his own identity. Through the ways that others value him, he comes to value himself. Then he is able to see himself as a part of others, as well as a part of a higher cause to which he is dedicated. That's beautiful. The more he can do this, the more he will rise off the plane of self-consciousness, and the demanding needs to gratify his own ego will become submerged in the collective ego of the cause to which he has dedicated his identity. When he completes this lesson, his strength of character and sense of direction become no weaker nor less purposeful than the cause of which he becomes a part. The sign which contains the south node shows the ways in which this individual allows too much past life residue of passion and desire to pressure his current life. The sign which contains the north node indicates the ways in which he can develop enough detachment so that he frees his personal self, enabling him to dedicate his energies toward more universal causes. Wow. That is really beautiful. And now again, we are living in the Aquarian age. So how perfect is that? Okay. Well, any of you who would like copies, please send me an email. And my email and all of my information are always in the drop-down box below each and every one of my videos. Okay? Until next time.